The most daring daylight robbery in Paris, the 2025 Louvre heist. In the heart of Paris stands the Louvre Museum, the world's most secure and celebrated art fortress, a place believed to be impossible to breach until now. On October 19, 2025, in broad daylight, a group of men pulled off a robbery so fast, so bold, it left France humiliated before the world setting the scene. That morning began just like any other. At 8 a.m., the museum opened its gates to the public. Guards were at their posts, tourists from all corners of the world flooded the grand halls, and the Louvre glowed under the Parisian sun. By 8:30 a.m., the museum had been open for barely half an hour, when something strange appeared on the side facing the River Seine. A white mechanical lift truck, the kind used to deliver furniture to high floors, quietly parked next to the museum wall. But the people inside weren't movers. They were thieves. The infiltration begins. There were 4 of them, all wearing yellow and orange vests like construction workers. Their faces were hidden behind balaclavas. 2 stayed on the ground while the other 2 extended the hydraulic lift toward a balcony on the first floor. A balcony that led directly to the Gallery of Apollo, home to France's royal treasures. Inside that gallery, behind thick security glass, rested priceless jewels once owned by Napoleon's queens and empresses. But between the thieves and the treasure stood a wall of bulletproof glass, thick enough to stop almost anything almost. Breaking the glass. The thieves pulled out an industrial-grade disc cutter, the kind that can slice through metal and glass in seconds. Sparks flew. In under a minute, they carved a hole wide enough to crawl through and slipped inside the gallery. No one noticed at first, until the vibration triggered the security alarm. Guards rushed toward the sound, but the intruders didn't care. They waved their power tools threateningly and continued smashing the display cases. Chaos inside the Louvre. As guards began evacuating tourists, panic erupted. Witnesses later described scenes of pure chaos, screams, confusion, and disbelief. Few could imagine that the world's most famous museum was being robbed in real time. In just 4 minutes, the thieves grabbed 9 royal artifacts, then climbed back out through the same hole they'd cut. Down below, their 2 partners were waiting on scooters, engines running. They leapt down, hopped on, and vanished across the river before anyone could react. Total time inside the museum, 4 minutes. Total time for the whole operation, 8 minutes escaping the scene. Before fleeing, the thieves tried to set the lift truck on fire, hoping to destroy fingerprints and DNA. But a brave museum staff member intervened, stopping them just in time. Moments later, they sped through the Boulevard Périphérique, Paris's ring road, and disappeared onto the A6 motorway. France had just witnessed the most embarrassing daylight robbery in its history. What was stolen? When museum officials finally assessed the damage, the entire nation fell silent. The thieves had stolen 8 priceless royal jewels, and 1 had fallen to the street during the escape. That dropped piece was Empress Eugenie's 170-year-old crown, made for Napoleon III's wife in 1855. It was badly damaged when forced through the narrow cut in the glass and hit the pavement, but the rest, 8 historic pieces, were gone without a trace. The priceless jewels among the missing treasures were Empress Eugenie's tiara and brooch, Empress Marie-Louise's emerald necklace and earrings, Queen Marie-Amélie's sapphire tiara, Queen Hortense's sapphire necklace and earrings, and a sacred reliquary brooch, a unique 19th century masterpiece. Each piece glittered with thousands of diamonds, emeralds, and sapphires, together worth over $2 million in raw value. But their historical worth? Absolutely priceless. Even $1 billion couldn't replace what France had lost, the living jewels of its royal past. The strange choice. Curiously, the thieves ignored the most valuable items in the gallery, like the Regent diamond, worth over 51 million euros, and the legendary Sancy and Hortensia diamonds. Why leave the biggest prizes behind? Investigators believe the robbers were working on commission, hired to steal specific pieces for a private collector who knew exactly what he wanted. Security failures revealed soon, shocking details emerged. The gallery where the theft occurred was missing CCTV coverage. 1 out of every 3 rooms had no security cameras at all. And the external cameras? They didn't even fully cover the balcony the thieves used for entry. But the biggest revelation came from French Senator Nathalie Goulet, who told the BBC that the local balcony alarm had been broken for days. The only functioning alarm was the museum's main system, which triggered too late. If that local alarm had been working, security might have stopped the thieves within seconds. Fallout and resignations, the Louvre's director immediately offered her resignation, accepting full responsibility for the security lapse. But the Ministry of Culture refused to accept it. Instead, France ordered a nationwide review of museum security systems. The Louvre, a symbol of art and civilization, had been exposed as vulnerable. Its prestige shattered. Not the first time. But believe it or not, this wasn't the first time the Louvre had been robbed. Back in 1911, a museum employee stole Leonardo da Vinci's Mona Lisa by simply hiding it under his clothes and walking out. It took 2 years to recover, and that theft ironically made the Mona Lisa the most famous painting in the world. In 1976, 3 men broke a window and stole King Charles VI's sword, which has never been found. And in 1998, thieves ripped a painting straight from its frame in front of visitors and vanished. Now, 27 years later, history repeated itself, only bigger. The investigation within a week, the French police had gathered 150 DNA and fingerprint samples from helmets, gloves, and the abandoned truck. By October 25th, 2 suspects were arrested, one of them with a prior record for gold theft. Authorities believe the heist was carried out by a highly organized professional gang, possibly part of a larger European network specializing in art crimes. But as of now, none of the stolen jewels have been recovered. Aftermath. The Louvre remained closed until October 22nd, while the Gallery of Apollo is still sealed off for forensic examination. The French government has called this heist a loss not of money, but of history. Reflection and closing. In the age of AI surveillance, face recognition, and high-tech alarms, a group of 4 men with a lift truck and power tools robbed the world's most secure museum and vanished into the streets of Paris. It's a reminder that even the strongest fortresses can fall, not from lack of technology, but from human oversight. And as investigators continue their search, one question still echoes through the halls of the Louvre. Were these men just daring thieves, or professionals working for someone much, much bigger? Until those jewels resurface, this mystery remains unsolved.
If you enjoyed this story, make sure to like, share, and subscribe, because the next big mystery might already be unfolding somewhere else in the world.